Hello, Bliss. Bliss is a beautiful place. And a lot of us don't realize that this is one of the core reasons we meditate. Bliss is the feeling that you get when you connect with Source, with the Creator. Bliss is outside of the polarity that we experience on this three-dimensional plane. It's outside of the emotional body. Bliss is something that is innately available to us when we connect with our true nature, when we realize we are a spark of the Creator and we can become fully aligned and unite with the Creator. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't wait or are not even aware that this is available to them, that this experience is there for them. This experience that continues to guide and provide intuition, wisdom, and intelligence on our paths in this life, in this body. Unfortunately, the art of yoga has been lost in the West. When it was brought to the West, it was about going to this blissful state with the Creator. But now a lot of people don't even realize that the practice of yoga is not just about physical, mental, and emotional health. There's another dimension there. So I want to encourage you to explore this and to get to a place where you can experience bliss on a daily basis. Because when you do, this is the amazing goal, if you like, to strive for, to experience the fullest potential of our existence as a human being. Of course, we go back to this place of bliss eventually when we lose this body and this mind. But ultimately, to have the peak experience and to walk the highest timeline in this lifetime, you need to be able to keep this in a practice in your life on a daily basis, if possible. So how do we get to bliss? Well, it takes discipline. It takes a value set, a value that this is important to you. It's not something that's going to happen instantly. Bliss is something that takes a muscle to be exercised over time. And so it takes dedication, it takes perseverance, it takes patience, and it takes devotion. Devotion to wishing to be in union with the Creator on a daily basis, to know God, if you like. And so if you're just new to meditation, it's not going to happen like that if you push, because resistance creates persistence of the old issues or things that you are still holding on to, the illusion. So to be able to release all of the resistance and things that are blocking you from the experience of bliss with the Creator, we need to create a system of discipline, to be a disciple, to be devoted to this practice. And so the first step for me was beginning meditation in the first place. If it's not in your life, to make it important. And then the second step might be for you to just listen to guided meditations to begin with. And I had to do that first because my mind just wanted to take over. My thoughts wanted to take over. As we know, our thoughts are wild. They run a million miles a moment, and they don't want you to still them. They want to be the thing that drives you and your behavior, even though our thoughts are just an illusion. They're just a creation of this experience in this reality. They're not necessary for our eternal presence. And so quietening the thoughts is the biggest challenge for most people when they meditate, but it gets easier. I promise you this, I can attest to this. So when we learn to use guided meditations, it just gets us used to going into that space of quietening the mind and just listening to the guidance. But eventually you need to let that guidance go, because ultimately what we're doing is we're accessing the stillness, the womb, if you like, the feminine, the creation, the darkness. And this is important. This is part of meditation, is to go into that place. And it's very scary for a lot of people because we're taught that that is a scary place. But stillness is the door, if you like, to that bliss. So being still means that eventually we need to let go of the guided meditations and be okay with being quiet. And you can focus on your breath. This is where breath work is extremely important. It becomes part of the discipline to become conscious of your breath, so that then your thoughts are still not trying to overtake the process, the experience. And once you've got to a place where you can calm the entire nervous system, the entire fight, flight, freeze part of you that wants to stay in that reptilian brain, when we can move out of that space, then you're ready to surrender anything further that you're holding on to. You'll feel that if there's a block there, if it's fear, anger, sadness, guilt, if there's some sort of emotion that's a layer that's stopping you from being light. So letting go of those dense emotions and just surrendering them up. Surrendering, and I've talked about this in another video, is releasing. It's just releasing what you're holding on to so tightly and letting it go and realizing your true nature is light. And so once we've got to that point, that's when we can enter the bliss. And it is a process. As you can see, it's a process. To get to the bliss, we have to release all of the illusion that we hold on to so tightly in our day. Releasing that, getting to the real. And that's why meditation is casting off all of the illusion. And to get to that bliss, sometimes we need to so much get out of our head and move down to our heart space. So it's worth looking at the Heart Math Institute if you're curious about how to do that, because that forms an important step. So I would encourage you to look into this, to try it, to look into non-duality and some of the practices of yoga to be able to quieten the mind and become more of the one that's in control, not the mind, not the body, the real you, and experience that bliss that is your innate birthright. There's technology there for you to get there, to realize this in the stillness is all the answers you ever needed right there. You don't need to do all the work in your small mind and with this body. That's not the requirement, I believe, of this role we play as a human. It's to surrender and realize who we really are and not to do it all on our own. So I hope this has been encouraging. Please like this video if it resonated, share it, subscribe to my channel, and have a beautiful day. See ya.